Hi, my name is Walter Rowe. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use Capture One for iPad 2.5 to work with referenced files on an external SSD. Here I'm in the Files app of the iPadOS. I'm going to plug in my SSD. You'll see it appear on the left sidebar. Here it is, Photo Masters. And now I'm going to switch over to the Capture One for iPad. And here I'm going to start with an empty catalog. I'm going to click the Files Import location. I'm going to scroll down to Photo Masters, my external SSD. I'm going to go down to Originals, which is where I store my raw files on my drive. Go to Architecture, go to Commercial, and here I'm going to click Open. You can see my mouse pointer. I'm using the Magic Keyboard. Here you can see the little window here. It's bringing up the browser. It had to scan the folder. Now it's got the browser for the import dialog. I'm going to say select all. I'm going to go down to the import, and now you're going to see a new feature of import. It says add to catalog, which would add them as referenced files while they reside on the SSD, so it'll point to them on the SSD, or the traditional copy into catalog, which is what we used to have. So I'm going to add to catalog. Now you can see that it's building the previews. The little wheel up here is going around, showing that it's now reading those files on the external SSD and building its previews for the catalog. This is the standard import process, whether you're on the desktop or the iPad. And now the previews are built. So what happens when I disconnect my SSD? So let me disconnect the SSD, and you're going to see the files now get a little folder icon with a question mark in it, which tells you that they're offline. For some reason, some of them don't do it immediately, but as soon as you select the file and go back, it will show them, or if you switch to a different folder, it will immediately show that they're all offline. So you can see I have all these referenced files. We're looking at the previews, but the actual files we're not looking at yet because they're offline. So what happens when I plug the SSD back in? So I've now plugged the SSD back into the iPad, and we'll see that the little folder icon with the question mark will go away. If I switch to maybe a different folder and come back, suddenly now the icon is gone. All right, so that's what happens when you are disconnected from your files. So can I make adjustments to files when they're disconnected? Let's once again disconnect the SSD, and we'll see that here we go. Here's a file. Here's my adjustments. I can do things like maybe I want to change my white balance. Maybe it's a bit too, where am I? Kelvin. It needs to be a bit warmer. So maybe I want to make it a little bit warmer. Maybe the tint may or may not need a little adjusting. So you can make adjustments here. And let's see what else we can do. Let's see these new tools. So we have the curves tool now. You'll see that we now have a curves tool in Capture One iPad. So I can increase the contrast. Maybe it's a little bit much. But there you can see how the new curves tool works. Let me close that. We also have a levels tool now, so I can adjust the black point if I want, or I can maybe brighten it up a little bit, maybe raise the white point. So that's how that works. Close this. So you can see that I'm editing the image even though it's only got a preview. Okay, so let's go back here. Now what happens when we want to delete files that are referenced? First off, I'll plug my SSD back in. Notice it only showed the one file offline because I hadn't really looked at the others. But here, it thinks they're offline, and even though I just plugged my SSD back in, what I can do is I can go here to relocate, It's going to actually open up the folder I was already in. So I'm going to say open, and suddenly all the files are online. Now, if I want to delete them all, I'll say select, select all, and I'll move them to trash. Okay, so now they're all in the trash. They're still referenced. Remember, they're referenced. So now I'm going to say select all, and I'm going to delete. And here in the empty trash, we're going to see a new option as well. We're going to see either delete from disk or remove from catalog. When referenced images are identified in the catalog, it will ask you whether to delete from disk or remove from catalog. I'm going to say remove from catalog. So now I'm back to an empty catalog, and where we started. That's how you work with referenced files in Capture One for iPad 2.5.